Welcome to the Stories That Sparkle. I'm Hella Rader, and today's episode is the 12th conversation I recorded during the Disco Ball tour back in September. It is the first one I recorded on my turn back east towards home, and so it made total sense to me that while visiting Sheri in Lincoln and then Plattsmouth, Nebraska, that we would talk about what is home. We talk all about how she grew up on a farm, y'all, like a true working farm, all the places she lived after that, and her return to home in so many ways, shapes, forms. Yeah, it's a real treat. Sheri and I go way back. We've been through all kinds of things together in parallel at the same time, whatever way you want to call it. Yeah, she's a real, just generous, beautiful woman. And I'm so excited that I got to spend time with her in her sunroom first in Lincoln and then out by the lake in Plattsmouth and everything in between. We had a lot of fun during my visit. So really grateful to her. And yeah, I invite you to get comfortable, sit back, and listen in. I'm Hella Rader. With a good sense of humor, an open heart, and an open mind, I love to explore the very human complexities in others and in myself. That's why I created a space for women you have never heard of and could easily pass on the street to share in their own voices the intricacies of starting over in life, building community, inhabiting their bodies, and more. Welcome to our Disco Ball, the stories that sparkle. All right, y'all. I'm very busy here taking a picture of this cuteness because what is this? This is the best recording situation ever made. Sheri is reclining very comfortably in a recliner chair situation, and Cora is like draped on her. It's awesome. I love this.
Cora is almost always draped on me.
Oh, really?
In one way or another.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, it looks like that. I can see that.
There's the term Velcro dog. Mm-hmm. Cora is a super glue dog.
Oh, wow. She's next level.
Next level Velcro.
Right.
All the way to super glue. She's skipped over Elmer's. Straight to super glue.
She went straight to super glue.
Yep.
All right, Sheri. Well, it's just delightful. We're here in Nebraska.
Yes.
Plattsmouth,
Nebraska.
I never thought I would be in Plattsmouth, Nebraska.
You and me both.
That makes two of us. We started in Lincoln.
Yes, I live in Lincoln.
That's where you live, and that's where we connected initially. And then we visited for a little bit, and then we drove out to Plattsmouth, and we're now by a lake.
Yes.
We were at the Missouri River. I mean, we've been very busy.
We have been.
Since we've woken up this morning.
I wanted you to have the lake house experience.
Yes.
It's not my lake house, but I'm sharing it with you.
No, it's really quite wonderful.
Yes.
We've been very busy in the best possible way.
Yes.
And it's just been a great it's just been really lovely.
24 hours. Have you even been here 24 hours?
I feel like I've been here for a week.
I know. We've done a lot.
And it's only been 24 hours. It's unbelievable.
Not even. I'm thinking it's like 22 at this point.
I know. It's bonkers.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. Well, thank you again.
We did get a little bit of sleep.
Yeah, we did sleep at some point. I did leave the blinds open because the sun rises. I have a view of the water from here, from this room. And I was like, I'm going to be part of the sunrise. And I was. I did wake up right around sunrise. So.
It's amazing, this life that I have today, that I get to have this place available to me.
Yeah.
It's all part of the good stuff.
It is. Well, I can't get over the slogan of Nebraska is the good life.
The good life.
And I'm now I understand why.
Yeah.
It's been a delight. I mean, the cornfields are beautiful. It's all beautiful.
You're here at a really cool time because the corn is golden and it's at its peak height, which we saw today. I swear that corn was 12 feet tall. I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen corn that tall.
It was tall. Yeah.
And so the golden corn and then the soybeans are green and golden. I don't know if you've noticed, some of the fields are almost striped green and
Yes.
yellow with the soybeans changing. And then, of course, here, the water, the leaves are still green. The grasses are beautiful. The grass is beautiful. And yeah, it's really a beautiful time to be here.
Yeah, I picked a good time.
You did excellent job.
Yeah, this is my first stop on my bend back east. I've been in,
Right.
I came from Denver, so this was literally the
Yeah.
like I turned back to the east. That I lost an hour again. Like I had gained 2 hours, then I
Yes.
lost an hour again.
Yes.
So I'm just going to be moving back through the next. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's been
awesome.
a great way to turn back east.
Good.
To stop here first.
Good.
So thank you.
I'm happy. I'm honored that you stopped here.
Aww.
And then the bonus of Plattsmouth.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know Plattsmouth was happening.
I know. I'm pretty sure when you asked me first about this, Plattsmouth was not even on the radar.
That's right. This is how you just never
is
know,
how it
y'all.
happens.
How
Yep.
things just show up if you are, paying
Open.
attention and open. Yeah.
Yes.
So we've been chatting about a
Yeah.
lot of different things.
Yep.
And we've been debating or just pondering what are we going to talk about?
Yeah.
Because we have lots of stories.
lot of
you have
history.
lots of stories,
Yeah.
and we have lots of history. So.
Yep.
But I was curious, certainly, we were driving on the Polaris
Yep.
buggy / golf cart adjacent vehicular device.
Yeah. All
And
terrain.
All terrain.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more than a golf cart,
Yes,
for sure.
for sure.
Golf cart plus.
Yes.
But we were driving around the neighborhood and I was pondering, I was like, this is beautiful.
Yep.
And Hella today is enjoying this tremendously, this vibe of
Yes.
this place between
Yes.
the lake and the corn and all the things.
Yes.
But I don't know how I would have felt if I was growing up in a place like this.
Yes.
So, and then I was like, wait, Sheri grew up in a place even more remote
Much more
than
remote.
this. So I thought maybe we would start there. Like, what was that like?
Yes.
Just what was that like?
I will tell you that from almost my earliest memory, I felt like I didn't belong there. I felt like I'd kind of been dropped out there in the middle of nowhere, and I was meant for bigger things. Like I used to joke if I didn't look so much like my father, I'd think I was adopted because I was very different than a lot of the rest of my family in the fact of the things that I wanted to pursue, how I approached life, a lot of things different. And so I always knew that I would leave there. And I didn't have, small town, small class, small like farm community. I lived 7 miles away from where I went to school. But I had kind of 2 different groups of friends. I had like school friends when school was in session. And then in the summer, I showed horses. So I had my horse friends in the summer. And I always felt like I was very close to both groups of friends, but I fit in almost more with the horse friends. And I don't know if it's animal lovers and something about it felt less judgy than the school stuff.
Oh, interesting. So
Yeah.
you felt judgment.
Well, I won't say bullied, but I was definitely picked on. My brother was bullied big time, and he's 5 years older than me. And so I definitely had moments where I, was picked on, and I judged myself from where I lived versus where my friends lived, right? I lived on a farm. Our house was dirty. There was shit on your shoes. There was, just very different than, and I'm saying town people.
Right.
The town was 200 people.
Right.
So it's
But
not
they were
like,
city folk.
But they were
compared to
they were
you.
city folk compared to me. They could walk to each other's houses and hang out. So I was part of kind of a triangle friendship, right? There were 3 of us that were best friends from the time I was kindergarten. That, fun fact, that ended up being my graduating high school class.
The 3 of you?
The 3 of us.
What?
Yes.
Okay. I thought I was going to a small school. Holy
Yes.
bleeps.
3 girls. We've been best friends since kindergarten. But what happens often when you're in a triangle relationship.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is there's always someone that is almost always there's somebody who's kind of on the out, where two of them are talking about the other one, or and then somebody else comes in, and all of a sudden the triangle changes shape, and there's another person into the best friend circle, and then inevitably you feel left out. And I know this to be it's not factual today, but I always felt like I was that one that was left out for whatever reason, and from a very young age. And it is from a lot of things that were said to me or done to me, body image, whatever it was. I always felt like I was not good enough. I was not the popular one. I mean, it stung bad, but today I can laugh about it. So like we had homecoming and sweetheart. Those were like the two times a year that you had royalty type, the king and queen thing,
there was
right?
Some sort of coronation
right.
happening.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so there were two of them. So one girl was homecoming, one girl was sweetheart.
Because there's the three
and
of
I was
you.
Nothing.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
So,
man.
I mean, that wasn't until I was much older, but that's just kind of the way I felt it progressed. Actually, it started in kindergarten. Here's the interesting thing. In kindergarten, because we were a K through 12, the kindergartners, the seniors select a boy and a girl from kindergarten for homecoming and sweetheart to be kind of like the crown holders. Well, one was one was the other.
God.
And I was none. So it started in kindergarten, actually. And I honestly never even thought about that till right now, that I was the outside. Even because of that, they were the chosen ones and I wasn't. So that kind of thing really magnified itself over the years. They were much more popular with the boys. They were more athletic. They were, I could compare this, that, and the other. And I've had many opportunities to look at this friendship relationship over the years, and the decisions I made about myself were really, they didn't serve me. They didn't serve me well. And while the education you get in a small community like that is exceptional, the teachers know you. They know exactly what you're capable of. You can't pull one over on them. They know, they're like, that paper's crap. You didn't even try because you can do better. Like, they knew us. But also, you either fit in or you don't. There's not like a bunch of different groups you can try to fit in with. There's not the jocks, and there's not the breakfast club, right? There's not all the representatives. You're all the same. Like, everybody is part of the breakfast club. And if you're not in the in, or what's perceived as the in, you're on the out. So I carried that with me a long time. And I think that was also part of what fed me as to, I don't want to be anywhere near these people. And I love the two girls that were in my class. I love them dearly. They're still we're still good friends. But I could not wait to get away. Like, they had very different experiences in high school. There's certain parts of high school I don't remember.
Right.
And part of it is because I blocked it out for my own emotional preservation.
Right, like survival.
Yeah, I could, because things that happened hurt me emotionally, hurt my feelings. And so it was easier for me to just not think about that. They'll be like, oh, don't you remember we did this? And I'm like, yeah, no. And it wasn't too long ago that I told them for the first time, you two had a very different high school experience than I did. And they were like, what do you mean? And I didn't go into too much, but I just said, you enjoyed school much more than I did. But as soon as I could get out of there, I did. I left the day after high school graduation.
Really?
As much as I loved my family, I loved my mom, I loved my dad, I was like, I am not a farm girl. I'm not meant to be here. I loved my horses, but I was like, get me out of here. I wanted to go to Chicago to college. I got accepted to DePaul. I was so excited. I got a small scholarship. But then I had also applied to the University of Nebraska, which is in Lincoln, which at the time was probably about 150,000-ish people. Relatively small in comparison of where I've lived since then. But I got accepted there and I got a full scholarship. So that was decided.
Right.
That's as far as you're going. It was at the time, it was almost 5 hours away because you could only drive 55, I think.
Yeah, no, I was driving like 90 miles an hour.
Speed limit 75.
I know, but I was like accidentally, like I looked down, like, oh my God, I'm going 90.
Yes.
Like, I don't even feel it. And my car is not like a sports car situation.
The Mazda flies.
But I was like, whoa, even the Mazda is like picking up steam here on the flat roads. Anyway.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, 55, forget about it.
Yeah. So it was like 5 hours. It was far enough away from home. And also, nobody knew me here. Except for my cousin. So I lived with my cousins my freshman year. I didn't do the dorm experience. I lived with 2 cousins, which was a whole other experience all in itself. One of my cousins, we'd grown up kind of like sisters. And so I lived with her and her older brother. When I talk about growing up where I grew up, it was an amazing place to grow up. Most people. Some of us, while I thrived there, I did great in school, blah, 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 all the things. It was just not the best thing. Like, you know, and none of my parents knew nothing about this. Like, it's not like I went home and said, hey, they hurt my feelings again. This happened. And even if I did, they'd have been like, buck it up. You're good. You're okay. It's just, you know, they're just teasing you.
Right.
You know, I've had to do some inner work with that inner girl, that inner child, and go, Sheri, that wasn't real. And, you know, really love myself. And anytime some of that stuff comes back, because I remember some of those moments as the most vividly things I remember in my life. And that's one of the things about trauma.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a book about PTSD called The Body Never Forgets, or Body Keeps the Score. That's what. And I was like, some of my most vivid memories of childhood are of those where I got singled out or picked on or what have you. And that's the trauma being remembered. That is trauma. People would never have called it that in 1980, but that's trauma for a child. And we don't know how to deal with it, and we don't have the tools to deal with it. And so to be able to grow up and do some work and let that inner child heal those things has really been really important for me. And I didn't start doing that until maybe 15 years ago or so. So it was a long time before I realized I needed to even do it.
Right. Yeah, no, that's often the tricky part. It can sort of like lay dormant, or you just kind of like, you've got these I've had these survival techniques. They work well enough, so I'll just live a half life. That's what I would do. Like I was like, I know on some level I'm choosing to live a half life because I'm basically cut off from big chunks of myself. But I know how to do that.
Yes.
This other thing, I don't know how to do it, so I'm not going to.
Yes.
Until I could. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, that was a lot of that. And then, you know, my college years were my favorite years in my whole life.
Really?
Favorite years. I loved college. I was in Nebraska in the 90s, and I know you're not a football person.
I don't know anything about this.
Anybody that knows anything about college football, Nebraska in the 90s was where it's at. I mean, it was phenomenal. Early 90s, right? So, you know, 2 national championships in football while I was there. I mean, volleyball national championship. Like, just, it was so fun. The environment was always just electric. I lived next door. I love football. I've always loved football. I lived next door to several football players, so got to know a lot of them well, had a blast. You know, they became kind of like our little personal protectors. You know, they didn't know I wasn't sweetheart or homecoming queen. They didn't care. You know, we were just like the neighbor girls, and they were, you know, they were cool to us, and we had a lot of fun. And I partied a lot. But, you know, I managed to graduate.
Right. I got my degree.
5 years.
So I did was the 5
But I also worked a lot. Like
Right.
I had multiple jobs almost always. I had 2 jobs.
Right. So I'm hearing, I'm just curious now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you left the day after high school, essentially. Went to Lincoln, 5 hours away. Like, was there any kind of, like, it sounds very fearless to me. Was it a drive? Like, were you driven to just go, go, go? Like, what was, like...
Yeah, I think so. People have asked me that, like, how do you go from a class of 3 to a college of 25,000 people? And I'm like, didn't even think about it. I mean, I'm sitting in an auditorium on day 1 in biology. I met one of my good friends to this day, Kim. We sat down next to each other. She's from South Dakota. 400 people in this lecture hall. I was still just me, you know. They were still just other people. But kind of the key probably with me there is none of them knew me.
Oh, interesting.
I didn't go in with any of those other things that people had picked on me about since I was, 5 on the school bus with the Bonson brothers who lived, down the road and always picked on everybody relentlessly. So none of that, I didn't have any of that. So I was probably, fear never even crossed my mind that I should be afraid of that.
Wow.
I just wanted to escape.
Right. You're like, I want out.
I want out.
Did you feel like you belonged?
Yes, I much more belonged there
Right.
than I did where I grew up. Like I said, from early on, it was like I got dropped out here and they delivered me to the wrong address.
Yeah, Amazon package. It was misdelivered.
I was rerouted inappropriately. So yeah, when I got to Lincoln, I was thriving. I don't remember being scared driving in the city. People talk about, are you driving? I don't remember being scared driving in the city. I don't remember. And I feel like if I had that fear, I'd really remember it. Because again, that trauma, I would remember the things that were traumatic. Now, there's some things that happened in college. Not everything was perfect. Trust me. And I remember them very vividly because they're a little traumatic. But in general, like those 5 years were the best. And some of my best friends today are, from people, well, my best friend today are from people that I met, in those 5 years.
Right. And then you moved again.
I moved twice after that. Yeah.
Right.
I kept moving to bigger, better. I probably never would have left Lincoln had there been the career opportunity that I thought, I needed. And so I was basically plucked out of college by Gannett, which was the big media company, and moved to Springfield, Missouri, where I worked there for the newspaper there for several years. I was in advertising. And then I kind of started, venturing out into other areas. And then I ended up in Atlanta. And that's where you and I met.
That's where we met.
Yeah. I was in Atlanta for 18 years. So I was in Atlanta as long as I was anywhere. Like my parents' house, 18 years. And then I was in Atlanta for 18 years. So Atlanta felt as much like home for me as home did. But here's the interesting part is I always felt like Lincoln was home.
Really?
Because it was where I had the best, not that I didn't have great memories in Atlanta, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
A lot of trauma then started happening. But yeah, I always was just like, God, I love Lincoln. And probably some of it is the sports and the sexiness of the fun and the partying and all that was lots of fun. And I would come back for games and I would come back and see people and be like, man, I miss Lincoln. So, when it came time to be able to move back, that was where I wanted to be.
So, right. So you do move back. Like,
I do.
This was like what, 5, 6 years ago?
5 years ago. Yeah. Moved back. Well, I moved back at the end of 2019, stayed with my mom while we searched for a house. And, so yeah, it'll be 6 years.
Okay. So what was that like moving, like, stepping stone vibes of like living with your mom in your childhood home, I'm imagining.
With
right?
my then husband.
Wow. Okay. So like talk about a full circle moment.
Oh my gosh.
And now you're there
Such
by
full circle.
choice.
Now I'm there by choice.
Which is also interesting to me. Like you're like, no, I want to be here. Right. So
Yeah.
like I'm going back to the scene of the
Yeah.
crime, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Well, I knew I wasn't going to be there long.
Right.
And I knew that I needed to spend time with my mom. Like something. So my dad had passed away in 2017, and I barely got here in time to see him. He was on the machine, but they kept him alive till I got here. And at that time, I remember going, why do I live so far away when I don't have to anymore? Because my career, I had an established career then where I worked at home, and I could do that from anywhere because I'd been with the company long enough that I didn't have to stay in Atlanta anymore. And so I remember thinking, why do I live so far away? And that was probably the first start of, I can be a lot closer and still not have to live out there because it was really small. I didn't want to live out there, but be able to get there within 4 hours. Whereas coming from Atlanta to where my family lived, literally planes, trains, and automobiles. And so I just, I knew that I wanted to be closer to my family. Also at the time, my niece, who I'm very, very, very close to, she had a daughter who was born very, very ill. And I know you're going to talk to Tara, but I was like, I can do more. I can do more for her. What can I do? And while I could do a lot far away monetarily or having friends, like we have a group of friends that, we rallied together and we supported them in many different ways and prayed for them. But I was like, oh, if I was closer, I could actually go and help her. I could stay with her. I wouldn't have none of this having to fly all the way across the country or drive 24 hours, basically, to get there. So there were a lot of different reasons that started weighing on me. So that's when we made the decision together, and we weren't sure when it was going to happen. And then things just started falling in place. So God's way is the easy way is something that, I believe. And as things started falling into place, I knew that this move was being blessed, and that it was what was supposed to happen. So stayed with Mom for a few months, lived in the basement, my husband, my dog, me, and then we bought a house in Lincoln and moved in 16 days before the world shut down because of COVID.
Right. Oh, good.
So all of a sudden I'm back in Lincoln, the city I love, the city where I want to do all this stuff, and nothing is happening.
Nothing is, it's like, wow.
Nothing was happening. So I started doing things in my house that we bought. So I started doing some painting and doing some projects, and I had this sunroom in my house that I started building into, making it my spot, my serenity spot, my place where I could go and just spend time. And that became, my place. So I spent hours upon hours upon hours in there, reading, or just sitting quietly. My husband and I at the time were, while we thought we were on a better track, right before we moved back, we weren't. And it was then the time there that I realized that it wasn't for me anymore. And so what COVID brought me was a chance to be honest with myself, because it was just me. He was there, but not like but it was just me and my God. And I did a lot of soul searching and praying and working with a spiritual mentor, and what can I do and what should I do and how can I stay engaged and how can I stay connected with the world shut down. And it really just gave me more time to connect with me.
Right. Interesting.
And connect with, God that had guided me back here for some reason and had really broken all the barriers down for me to be here. And then all of a sudden I get here and there's this giant barrier.
To your family, the whole reason why
family.
You tried to get closer to them, and now you're like separated by this barrier, as if you could have been in Atlanta, or anywhere.
So spent several months just isolated there, and got honest with myself, and realized that marriage wasn't the best for me anymore. It wasn't in my best interest.
Right. Right.
which, fortunately we were still, it was amicable. It was probably the easiest divorce in the history of divorces.
But I mean, I think, I grew up in a suburb of Washington, D.C. with German parents.
Right.
Speaking German as my first language. So
Yes.
I can relate to the other feeling as other.
Yeah.
Feeling of not belonging to a place, any specific one place. Feeling like I was like, also delivered to the wrong address. I'm like, I don't know how did I end up in this place?
And then you ultimately moved back too.
Yes, I know. This is what I'm saying.
We
have a lot. Well, yeah,
we have a lot.
Sheri and I have a lot of parallel, and also it seems to be parallel in terms of timing a lot of times as well. It's kind of actually bizarro world. Cool.
When I found out that you were getting divorced, I was like, what? I'm getting divorced. like,
hold on a second.
I remember the first time I talked to you, I was in my bathroom. Downstairs.
I was in New York.
You were in New York, and I was in a bathroom in the bottom floor of our house in Georgia talking to you.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, she understands me. She can help me. She understands me. But anyway.
That was I remember actually I remember sitting where I was in my apartment in New York City, in Brooklyn. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just,
Nebraska.
Yeah. So I'm curious because to me, it's like quote unquote, one thing.
Yes.
Although I'll amend that in a second. But, I grew up outside of a city.
Yes.
City.
Yes.
Not a farm.
Right.
So, I'm just still like mystified by this. Like I grew up on a farm.
Yes.
And I left it.
Yes.
And then I came back to farm adjacent place.
Yes. Although,
okay,
Lincoln's now 250,000 people. Yes, I'd lived in Atlanta, 4 million people, whatever. But I was kind of tired of the hecticness of my life there. I was tired of having to leave 3.5 hours before my flight to get to the airport. Some of the things were really weighing on me, of the city nonsense. So when I came back, where my mother lives, we stayed there for a couple months. I knew the smallest city I wanted to live in was Lincoln. So my choices were Lincoln, Omaha, Denver, to be in the proximity of my family that I wanted to be.
Got it.
Denver's really expensive.
Yes, I was just there.
Yes.
Holy smokes, how do people do it?
Yes. So I knew Denver was out. While I think it would have been a delightful to live in Denver, I knew it was out. Not for me to be able to maintain my lifestyle I wanted to have. Omaha, husband at the time, he had a lot of family history there. We just did not want to go back to Omaha. Lincoln, I always loved. So I was like, it's going to be Lincoln. What I love about this place is, and I think while we were driving here yesterday, I mentioned it to you. There was something about seeing the earth touch the sky all the way around that made me feel at home. Because here, many, many different places, besides being in downtown Lincoln or Omaha, that's one of the things that I could always do. You can see a thunderstorm coming from miles away because of the vastness of the sky. And while I probably didn't appreciate it as much as a child, I didn't even know it was a unique, honestly. I grew up with that, so I didn't know. I'm like, oh, so the whatever. I didn't even know that was a thing until you didn't live here anymore and went, huh. It's when I started thinking about that. So I love that about here, is that anywhere I want to feel grounded. Something about that makes me feel grounded, where I can go out and I can look around and I can see, here's the earth, here's where it ends, and there's where the sky begins, I just love that. And like you saw yesterday, that big of a sky, you can have so many different things going on in the same sky and not even realize it until you look all the way around.
Right.
We had this cool sunset happening behind us. We had this crazy dark thunderstorm happening in front of us. And then we got this beautiful rainbow off to the side. And then it was sunny to our right, like to the south.
It was crazy.
So it was almost like having, all the seasons at one time. It was like all the weather patterns are happening in the same dome above me. And I just think it's fascinating. So while being on the farm was definitely not in my blood, I love to garden. I love to grow flowers.
That's about it.
That's my farm girl in me,
Right.
I love to plant. I love to tear up and make a new flower bed and, and make something grow. And I love to make things grow, but that's not my lifestyle. So that was my thought, was that if I can when I came back here, I got to appreciate all that stuff that I really didn't appreciate before. And I could walk outside every day and see the earth touch the sky all the way around. So
I'm hearing like for you to feel grounded. I think this is really interesting. For you to feel a sense of groundedness, it almost requires an expansiveness above you. Like the space above you and around you needs to be wide open for you to feel very much grounded in the earth.
I think so. Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. I really think vast open spaces really just appeal to me across the board. But I also love a downtown. I love the energy of a city like downtown New York City, where you can't see the sky, where it's buildings and excitement. And I love that too. Never lived there. Love visiting those places. Don't think I could live there. But anyway, yeah, I just love everything
about this. I love everything.
I love everything. I love every city. I love every country. I love everywhere I've ever visited.
This is what I find so fascinating, right? Because I know you, and I know that you get around. I mean, this woman travels. You've been all over the place.
Yes.
You've lived not just in multiple cities. I mean, and quite large ones.
Yeah.
At that, Atlanta certainly. So it's not like you don't get around.
Yeah. Hey now.
I mean, in that sense, like you have no fear. I also hear no fear of like you just go wherever and you'll go there and explore. Yeah. And yet, like you choose or are choosing to make your home in this particular spot.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what I find fascinating. I don't know that. Yeah. I mean, I live in a small town.
Yeah.
And I would have never thought I would do that.
Yeah.
I know I don't want to live in a big city anymore. There's something has altered, fundamentally shifted within me that I'm like, I will go there to visit. Yes. And I want the slow, small, steady pace and community of a small place like that.
Yep. I agree. I agree.
So I find this fascinating.
Yeah.
However.
And I think that's absolutely what I feel here. And obviously when out here at the lake where Craig's place is a very small lake, a very small community in the country, literally between cornfields.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the pictures from Hella, you have to look at them, because there's cornfields on all sides of this little lake community that's just plopped in the middle of farm country, and it's amazing. And I love it here. But I do still have my house in Lincoln. And I do still have that connection to that much of a city. Again, 250,000 people, not tiny by any means. They have a Trader Joe's. So, I mean, come on. They're not that small.
Right. Right.
But, I'm so comfortable out here. And the quiet. I don't know. Last night we really didn't get a look at the sky. I don't know if we're going to be able to look at the sky tonight either, but you've lived in New Mexico. You know what that's like. The night sky is almost as captivating to me as the day sky that has all different types of weather patterns in it. The darkness out here. Wow. I got into the car to drive in to get our pizza last night, and I was in Craig's car versus mine, so I don't know where everything is. It was so dark I couldn't even see how to turn on the lights, because there's no street lights out there.
Oh, that's right. There is. I didn't even think about that.
I had to turn on my camera phone so I could figure out where the lights were in this car I was driving.
Right. So so jumping back a little bit on this, because now I'm like, oh, this idea of home.
Yeah.
And I think it's just on my brain. So thank you for sharing with me, because I'm like, I think I'm feeling the urge to build a home with someone else. Like I've built a home. I've spent a lot of time building a home for myself,
Yeah.
both within myself and in my space.
Yeah.
And, it was interesting to me because in the last 6 months, this longing, not a yearning, but like a healthy longing to then expand that and to include another
Yeah.
person into that as home, like a person as home, in my home, building a home, whatever.
Yep.
So I think clearly because we're connected in this way, this
Yeah.
whole home thing just keeps
It's resonating for both of us.
coming up for me as we're having this conversation. So that's where I've landed us.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
not
No.
sorry, but so so to like sort of link into that for you, like, once COVID and divorce and all
Yep.
of the things sort of like settle down a little bit, now you are home.
Yeah.
What was that like to reconnect into home where you grew up? Because you're sort of in striking distance of going back there frequently.
Well, and not coincidentally, it happens for a reason. At the time my ex moved out, my mother needed a lot of help, health wise, and small towns is really hard to get the help you need. There's no home health aides. There's no PT, OT that comes to your house, all that kind of stuff. And my mom was in a couple of situations where she needed that. So she would stay with me and we would get her PT and her OT and the home health people to come to my house and get her. The first thing had something to do with her heart. And then she broke her shoulder.
Oh, wow.
And she
That's
couldn't
right.
get.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So she couldn't get, home PT where she was. So she had, so we brought her back to my place and we're like, okay, occupational therapy, physical therapy, home health care, get her strong, get her built up, get her, using her arm, send her back home for a few months. And then something else would happen. So my mom basically then moved in with me almost. Well, she did. She had a room in my house. She always had a room in my house. When I chose that place, I chose that house with a room in mind that intentionally that would be where she'd stay when she'd come see me. Because I wanted that. I was gone for a long time. And there were years that I didn't make it back for a holiday. There were years that I didn't make it back for an event. Not only was it a long day's trip, but it was expensive. There were years that we couldn't afford to come back. So I went many years where I missed a lot of things with my family. And I have a big family. I'm the youngest of 4. And they all have a lot of children and a lot of grandchildren. And, it just, multiplies.
Right.
And so I missed a lot of things. And so that was part of the coming back too, was the fact that, I mentioned my niece and her baby, but there were a lot of other people too in my family that I'd missed being there for them in different ways. And I'd been a part of these women in Atlanta that showed me really how to show up for people. And I've been able to be of service for people in a lot of different ways. And that was part of that, was that I hadn't really been able to do that for my family. So I was like, I just felt like it was time to be able to do that for my family. And of course it ended up being time. And so my mom ended up staying with me for basically her last 18 months or so. And she passed away in my home. I was able to give her the kind of death that she deserved. And so when my mom got to that stage, I was like, everybody deserves a beautiful death. So I downloaded all of her favorite music. I got flowers. I did everything that I knew that she loved. And I was like, I'm going to give her everything I possibly can in this moment to give her that beautiful transition and to be able to be there with her. And that was in my home,
Wow.
I made that a home for my mom.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. And we had fun times there.
Right, because your mom, did she grow up in the small town that you grew? So she grew
up way out there, yeah.
Out there, and then met your dad, and they got married and had a family. But sounds like she never left.
Not permanently. They did a few trips. Her and my dad, when we all got older, they did some fun trips. I felt like it was really my opportunity to spoil her.
Aww.
Because she always took care of us with such, that was her job. That was her purpose. She was a farm wife. She was a mom, and she took care of my dad a lot. Farm wives work really, really, really hard. Thankless jobs.
So what's a farm wife? What does that mean?
So
what's the definition in your understanding of it?
Yeah. So dad, his occupation was a farmer. We had a lot of land. We had animals. We had everything. And her job was to make sure everything in the home was taken care of. Everything that needed to be done was done. If it didn't have to do at the farm, he probably didn't have time to do it, because out there all the time. One of the things, when I was dating, online they could do a whole episode about that. But anyway.
Yeah, I was there for like 5 seconds. I was like, this is not for me.
I think I made it. Thank God. I was only like 6 or 8 months before I met Craig. But one of my favorite questions I would ask people is, what's one of your favorite childhood memories? Because I think it's interesting when people are able to tap into what those memories are and what they're about. Like, is it, oh, my dad bought me this, or, what actually is it? And mine was the fact that my mother would get up with us on Sundays and drive me and my brother and our 4 horses in a horse trailer to our horse shows on Sundays. And we would have to get up sometimes at 4:00 in the morning, wash the horses, load them up, and then drive an hour or so. And she'd have packed us lunches. She'd have packed food for the day. She would have made sure we have all of our tack packed, that our horses were clean. Because they were in the summer. So Dad, it's wheat harvest, whatever have you. So my mom drove us to horse shows, a big old trailer with 4 horses in it. And, basically took charge of everything, made sure we got there no matter what. Like, we never missed a horse show.
Wow.
And that was one of my favorite memories, because it definitely just exemplifies her strength and her commitment to us that at the time I had absolutely zero appreciation for.
Sure.
I was like, that's what you're supposed to do.
Right. Right.
But man, when I think back on it, and I've talked to my cousin about this, because her mom was the same way. Her mom and my mom were doing this together a lot, and we're like, our mothers would just take us off and take us to these horse shows and drive big old horse trailers, and
that is bonkers.
Mm-hmm. So she was really strong.
Right. So you come home, you've built this home. I keep coming back to it. You built a home within that home as a place of safety and grounding. And then now your mom's shared this home before she passes away. You get to build a home with her in it.
Yep.
Essentially, as a now single woman. Okay, so, I'm not projecting here on the relationship you're currently in.
That's pretty awesome.
Which is, he's wonderful and delightful. Yes. I'm loving my time here with both of you. Anna, so now I'm just curious, like, what, I spent a lot of time building a home for myself, both within myself first, and then, or actually, I think I started with my external environment of my physical space, and then that led to being in a space where I could build a home within myself.
Yep.
So as a, woman who's been on the dating apps, which you're right, that could be a whole other episode.
I have stories.
I'm sure. And maybe, and so like, this is like the middle-age dating situation, post-divorce, all those things. But also now this idea of what does home mean now? Yeah. As that starts to shift, whether, again, no pressure here that this particular relationship, so. Yep. And like, what does it mean to you now? Like you're really back in your home of Nebraska. And the part of Nebraska really that you felt at home in, which was is Lincoln. Yep. Now you're feeling at home in a different little town outside of that. Yep. But like, what does that look like or feel like, or what does that mean to you today, I guess? Right.
So I think what I've come to realize more and more is there's a thing that people say that is, part of my spiritual practice that, wherever I go, there I am. And it used to be kind of a negative because wherever I go, there I was. Meant that I took my problems with me. I'd try to make geographic solutions that would fix my marriage or whatever. But wherever I went, there I was. So now it's different for me, and it's positive in that wherever I go, there I am. And where I am and I feel loved, and of course I have my dogs because they are, both of my dogs are what I call God dogs that I got around my parents' death. And so they're really my heart dogs in that healing portion. So wherever I am and they are is my home right now.
Oh, so it's not so much a
It's
physical
not so
space
much a physical space
or
anymore
location.
as it's where I feel happy and safe and loved and valued.
That just makes me really seriously.
I know.
Y'all, I'm crying now. Okay, now I know why I brought this up.
Yeah.
I'm like, where am I fucking going?
It's wherever I feel loved. And I feel very loved where I am right now. Mm-hmm. I feel very loved at my home in Lincoln as well. And there's a lot of love there because of my experiences I've had there. But boy, have I realized that in all of these moves I've made in my life, the common thing was me. And what made them good or not good was always me as well. Like how I felt in those situations. Like while I felt great when I first moved us to Atlanta, then some crap hit the fan and I had no tools to handle it. And then it was awful. And I was like, oh, we got to get out of this place. But here, lots of crap's hit the fan while I've been here. And not once have I felt like I need to leave to feel better. And I never thought of myself as a runner. Like I would try different things to fix things, right? Not a runner. I've always been a hanger-oner.
Right. I will cling to this.
I'm kind of a clinger.
For dear life.
I'm kind of, a pit bull in that regards, where I just don't let go. But now I'm just clinging to just being at home and happy with myself. Mm-hmm. And the bonus of having somebody else who feels at home and happy with themselves be with me is great. And having a man in my life that allows me to be a woman feels great. And, but I do think that no matter where I would be right now, I am where my home is.
It's fascinating you say that because, as we know, I've been on the move for 3 weeks straight and not in a runny kind of way. Like
right.
with very purpose-driven
yes.
Manner. And it's taken me all 3 weeks to come to this place of like, oh, I feel very at home within myself. So I have been at home wherever I've gone, whether I've stayed with friends or and had home cooked meals or eaten together as a family, so to speak, or I was in a hotel by myself having a snack bar because I was like, I don't need to make a dinner or go out to dinner. I'm just going to have a bar in my hotel room. But either way, I was very much at home.
Yeah.
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 That's
I
interesting.
think home's a feeling and not a place.
Yeah. A lot of this has been contingent on being able to feel at home in my own body.
Yep. Like
actually live in it.
I travel a lot. And sometimes I'm like in one hotel for a night and going somewhere else. And I did part of the Camino by myself and was in a different place every night. And I sleep so well no matter where I am. And I was just thinking about that because people are like, oh, my first time in a new place, I just don't sleep that well, and it's just not home. And I'm like, I always sleep well no matter where I am, first night or not. And maybe it is because I have home in me. And I'm the same way. Like I can be in a hotel and be like, This is great. I'm just going to order room service or order DoorDash, and here I go. I'm good for the night, and I'm perfectly happy and content and comfortable with myself. Mm-hmm. And probably that didn't completely exist until the last 5 years as well. Maybe all that time alone is what helped me be more happy with myself and being with myself. And I'm pretty damn good company.
Like it needed a certain amount of time and distance and space to be with self.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm super content with me today. Doesn't mean everything's perfect. Doesn't mean my life cannot get chaotic. It doesn't mean that work is not insane right now, because it has been for the last year. And that insanity has been going on for a year, and I've not been insane. And I've not been triggered by it. I mean, I have my moments, don't get me wrong. I'm not constantly zen and whatever. I have my moments, but it's not taking control and ruining my joy and the rest of my life, even though that is a really big part of it right now, and it's really hard. And I feel a lot of feelings about it that make me feel a little bit less than, again, but I'm not letting those make me run away or make me, be like, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Right.
Still, I get to have this amazing life today. Sometimes I need people around me to remind me what a great life I have, because I really have a great life.
Right.
And it just keeps getting better and better. And it doesn't mean stuff doesn't go wrong, but I don't let it control me at all anymore.
Right. Yeah, you feel at home with yourself.
Yeah.
Within yourself.
Mm-hmm. I'm my home.
I am my home. There we go. Boom. Anyway.
I love it.
Well, thank you for having this conversation with me about home.
Thank you for... Yeah, I got some real enlightenment from this.
You did? Oh, I'm so glad.
Of course. I love having these kind of conversations with people like you. Like we're like-minded in many ways, and we look at things, in similar ways. And when you start a conversation like this, you really don't know where it's going to go.
No.
And then you get to the point where like, that was what this was about.
Yeah. Well, because it just, it's been sticking out to me. I mean, first of all, it's on my mind. It's just my life. I mean, by the time this comes out, what's hilarious to me is this, the landscape will have shifted by probably tremendously. But right this moment, as I'm driving around the country, and there's all these other things going on in parallel to that, and just where I'm at in my life, this whole where, feeling grounded, where do I feel grounded? How does my life, what kind of life do I want to live? Where is that happening? And also it doesn't mean it has to be a specific location, or, it could be multiple places simultaneously, as long as, or assuming, or provided that, in my case, for sure, I feel at home within myself.
Yeah.
And that's what I was like, what is it that's been sticking out to me in this vibe? We were joking earlier. I'm like, all about the vibes. But I'm like, I really am, because I'm feeling what is this energy I've been feeling, and it's been that.
Yeah.
I've been feeling very Sheri is very at home with herself in this place. She loves it here.
Yeah.
This environment, all the things, and I could feel that. I'm like, what is? And then as we were speaking, I'm like, oh, that's what it was. It was home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting. So so Lincoln's 45 minutes from where we are right now, 45 minutes to my house. And I'm mostly coming out here. Craig comes into Lincoln every now and then, but mostly it's me coming out here because lake, right? Hello. And he's always like, I hate that you have to move back and forth so much. He's like, that's got to be so hard. I'm like, no. And that's probably why, because, you know, my home goes with me. And yeah, at first I'm like, oh man, I have that at my house and I don't have it here. And now I have a lot of things in both places. And so ultimately I have what I need in both places. For a while there was medication. I kept forgetting it one place or another and would have to make 2 trips. But now I have sufficient medication in both places. But, you know, he's like, oh, that's got to be so hard. And I'm sorry you have to do that so much. And I'm like, yeah, not a burden at all. I don't even think about it being a burden. And maybe that's it, because wherever I am and these 2 furry little critters is where my home is.
Right. So one last question.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, I always say yes. No, I'm just kidding.
What was the one thing, if you had to pick one thing,
Yeah.
that allowed you to feel at home within yourself, that you either did or you heard or whatever that occurred? I don't know. What would be the one thing? Like, I know there's multiple factors. It's not that simple, but like the main big one thing that stands out to you.
I think for me, it was being honest with myself. I got to a point where I no longer could lie to myself about various things, whether it had to do with my health, my marriage, my family, whatever it was. That, like, why am I trying to kid myself? Like, that's ridiculous, you know? But I could do it. I mean, I had a really strong denial. I mean, I was really good at that. And I get to a point where it was way more uncomfortable to try to lie to myself about something. And now that has given me a freedom of wearing life like a loose cloak. I'm no longer, you know, in a straitjacket, which is what it felt like at times when I was trying to maintain this facade or lie to myself about what was and what wasn't. Even though I was in a practice of not lying to myself, I was still doing it.
Right. No,
Didn't even know it. But when I finally broke through that barrier of, again, the second level of lying force field, whatever it might be, that I was like, oh, this is my truth. And I no longer try to kid myself from anything. And I think that's given me the freedom to be at home wherever I am.
Right.
You know, we have a common friend in Atlanta that says, how free do I want to be?
Yeah.
And I say that a lot today. And now I make it, how free can I be?
Ooh.
Because I want to be really free, but how free can I be? How free can I get from all of these things that used to burden me, like those things that I carried from
And I
childhood.
guess I would add, like, what am I willing to do to be that kind of free? Like, sit through, feel.
Be honest with myself.
Yeah. Admit.
Get on medication because my sugar was too high, even though I did not ever want to admit that. But you know what? Get honest with yourself and take care of yourself in the way that you need to, because this is the facts.
Right.
And you not looking at it doesn't make it not true.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing.
So being totally honest with myself and being like, this is my body. This is my heart. This is my soul. This is who I am today. And that allows me to, I think, just feel like I can be me wherever I am. And maybe before, I only felt like I could be me in the confinement of my own small space, which made that home small. So today, I think my home's bigger because of that.
Right.
Wherever I go, there I am. And that's a good thing today.
Right. Right. Wow. Thank you. I love that.
Yeah. I kind of do too.
Yeah. Look at that. We just learned something new.
We just learned something new.
Oh, I love it.
And I switched dogs on my lap. Got a different dog on my lap
different
now.
dog. The other one's like, I give up. I'm laying over here by the window. Well, thank you, Sheri. We have more fun hijinks planned for the rest of today.
We're going to get cheap cheeseburgers.
We're going to go get cheap cheeseburgers.
At the dive bar.
At the dive bar, which I just think is a delight. I'm sure I'll make some sort of video out of it.
It is cinder block walls, no windows. It doesn't get much better than that.
Dude, that's amazing. Like
the place you pull up to and you go, where's the door?
Yeah, so if y'all want to see any of the reels I've made while here with Sheri, you'll see the kind of hijinks we've been getting up to. I mean, it's just all good, clean fun.
All good, clean fun.
Yeah, just go to my Instagram and there's like little like highlights or whatever. You'll see all the things.
Lulu, it must be about time. Oh yeah.
Yes,
dinner time.
Jinx.
Jinx.
All right. Well,
hi, Jinx.
Hi, Jinx and Jinx. Well, thank you again. Love you, girl.
Thank you. I love you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to The Stories That Sparkle, a space I created for women to share in their own voices the intricacies of their stories. And another huge, oh my goodness, like humongous thank you to Sheri for her hospitality, to Craig for his hospitality, and just what a wonderful, wonderful time I got to spend with them. It was an incredible experience. I even got to get on a boat and cruise around a lake and stand next to corn that was, I swear, like Sheri said, 12 feet tall. It was bonkers and just beautiful. The Nebraska really is gorgeous and beautiful, and you really can see as far as you want. And yeah, that big sky is incredible. And I totally get it. Nebraska, really, it's the good life. I mean, for reals. Yes, another big thank you. If you want to see the reels that we made while I was visiting with Sheri, they're over on my Instagram. You can go to @Hella Rader and check those out if you'd like. But more importantly than any of that, please do me a small favor. Pass this podcast on, whether it's this episode or the show in general, and just invite people to listen in, to follow, to review, to subscribe, to download and listen, and all of it. Just help me get these women's stories out there, help get the word out, and yeah, bring other people to the table to get their stories out there. So yeah, please, please, please do me that small favor. I would so appreciate the help getting it out there. Okay. More importantly, even than that, if you have a story you want to share or a topic you'd like me to cover in an episode of the podcast, drop me a line to hellarader@substack.com, because together we bring light into dark places.